Good morning. Welcome to my thought for the day. We're looking at an incident that happened to Jesus. It's in Luke 18, starting at verse 18, when a young man who is described as a ruler asked him a question. He said, "Good teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" Now, this is a very interesting question. Because he's not talking about having a good life here. He's talking about eternal life. And he had a lot in his life. He had riches. He had good education, good standing among the people. But even though he was an observant Jew, as it is shown by his answer, when Jesus said, "Do not commit adultery, do not kill, do not steal, do not bear false witness, honor your father and mother." And he said, "I've kept all these since I was a child, since my youth." He was a good Jew, an obedient Jew, a law-abiding Jew, and yet he did not know that he had eternal life. And the thing that he was missing was identified by Jesus when he said, "One thing you still lack, sell all that you have, distribute to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come, follow me." So what Jesus asked of him was that he follow him, just like he had said to Peter and James and John, to Matthew, to Alphaeus, all those disciples. He had said to them, "Come, follow me." And that had meant leaving home, being at the beck and call of Jesus, leaving their fishing business, leaving their families, changing their life. You know, becoming a Christian changes your life, changes your priorities, changes so many things. And for this young man, the problem he had was that he was wealthy, and he didn't want Jesus to be Lord of his wealth. He didn't want to do that. And Jesus knew that his heart was intrinsically linked to his money. Now, for different people, it's different things that they're attached to. You know, Jesus has to come first in your life, first above everything. So that if, and it's not always true that it happens, but if it was necessary to follow his call and to leave that which is the most dear to you, that you would answer that call. Come, follow me. You will have treasure in heaven, and come, follow me. So laying up treasure in heaven is very important. This come up again in this story. That we mustn't live our lives for this world only. We must live our lives for the next world. Lay up treasure. Contribute to the work of the kingdom, the advancement of God's kingdom in this world. Do not keep your money to yourself. Now, it's very interesting that if we do give to the Lord in whatever way, either by giving to the poor, by giving our life for the poor, as Mother Teresa did, or going to the other end of the world, as many of the great missionaries did, people who serve with modern-day missionary societies, like people who go to the other side of the world with medical aid and all these sort of things. They are laying up treasure in heaven and giving up lining their nest here. But you know, when we give to the Lord, when we do spend our earthly money for the kingdom, God gives it back to us. You can't outgive God. That's the wonderful thing. But you don't discover that until you give. It's the principle that Jesus himself taught, which we could go back to, which is in Luke chapter 6. I think it's chapter 6. Oh, it's chapter 6. I'm sure it is. Ooh, where are we? Yes, chapter 6, verse 38. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back. Now that's a wonderful verse. That's a verse to think and think about. Think about filling, I don't know what it might be, filling a container with grain or with rice. Try it in the kitchen. Fill a container with rice and then shake it down. And as the rice settles, you can get more in. So shake it again, put more in, shake it again, put more in. And then when it's really full, press it down from the top. And there's more space and you can put more in. Shake it, press it down, press it down. And this is what God says here, what Jesus said, give and it be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over. So with your rice in your container, pour the rice on, press it down until there's so much in there that it won't stay in and it will pour over the sides. That's the picture that Jesus used for his kind of generosity, that when we give, God gives back. Full measure, full to overflowing, pressed down, pressed as hard as you can so that you can get more in. God is no man's debtor. Store up for yourself treasures in heaven. This poor man couldn't do it. This poor young man couldn't do it. He went away sorry. The challenge was too great. One can only pray that perhaps he thought better of it and turned round. Maybe he did later on, maybe he was in one of the groups that came to faith after Jesus died and rose again. I don't know. But the Lord's heart yearned after that young man. He was very sad to see him go away. So, generosity. Didn't know that was where we'd end up this morning. I never quite know where we're going to end up. Have a great day. May God bless you as you think about the generosity of God, the measure that he gives back to us. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.